Today, we are here to celebrate the accomplishments of our learners, say thank you to those who have supported and encouraged them throughout the years, and share our deepest wishes for them to enjoy success as they boldly take their next steps. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, I am proud to welcome and celebrate the New Tech High at Coppell class of 2021. To lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please help me welcome Eagle Scout Mark Hottenpaw. Following the pledge, Autumn Kranz, our Learner Leadership Council President, will give our welcome.
Would everyone please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing while the Coppell High School Band, led by Mr. Gerard Miller, and the Coppell High School Choir, led by Bona Kugel, perform the national anthem.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Autumn Kranz, and I have had the opportunity to serve as the Learner Leadership Council President for the past 2 years. It is an honor to welcome friends, family, faculty, school board members, and my fellow graduates to the 2021 graduation ceremony of the New Tech High at Coppell. This is an exciting and monumental day for us, and I thank you all for coming to celebrate us and our accomplishments. I would like to start off by welcoming our amazing faculty. It is through our relationships with you that we as students make New Tech our second home and find an environment we feel we can grow in. We always say that New Tech is like a family, and while it sounds a little cheesy, nothing could be truer. The culture of our school is one of having open arms and forming relationships with people you have nothing in common with. And as one chapter of our life closes and a new one starts, we will hold with us the values of our school, and we will be prepared to face the challenges ahead. Next, I would like to thank our families. Not only did you feed us, clothe us, put a roof over our head, etc., you've made time to listen to us and help us when we've fallen down. We've gone from being small babies that cry obnoxiously loud and spit up at inconvenient times to mostly functioning human beings that have finished high school and are graduating. It wouldn't be without your endless love and support that we would be where we are today. And lastly, I would like to welcome our friends. Friends are the family that we choose, and they bring much joy and laughter into our lives. Friends reflect who we are and who we want to be, so it is through friendships that we learn about ourselves and learn how to grow. Without the friendships we've made and broken, we wouldn't be the people we are today, and this room might look a little different. I would like to end with a word of advice from the poet who goes by the name of Eminem, the real Slim Shady. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better. Thank you. You may now be seated. Before we continue with the ceremony, we have a favor to ask. Please be respectful of our guests and graduates and refrain from using noisemakers of any kind, so that we may hear the words prepared by our learners as well as the name of each learner being recognized. Thank you very much, and go Falcons!
New Tech High at Coppell is proud to be represented by these graduates today. They embody the cornerstone values of citizenship at our school: trust, respect, and responsibility. They have committed themselves to nurturing relationships with both faculty and peers, as they have also embraced the spirit of giving back, whether through holding community events for charity, volunteering in the neighborhood and in other schools, or creating presentations that help to show others why they should look beyond themselves. New Tech High at Coppell graduates have imagined and helped to create a better world. Today, you leave with a little piece of our hearts, hopefully a whole lot of our guidance, and the commission to continue the work that you began here. Seniors, normally at this point in the graduation script, I offer a word that sums up the senior class. I oftentimes struggle with finding the exact right word that can encapsulate the personality of the class or how the staff at New Tech High at Coppell feels about you. This year, that was not the case, because you have become such a vibrant and important part of our campus. My word for you is treasure. I chose that word because not only have you been a treasure to us for these past 4 years, with your creativity, wit, and capacity to love, but also because it was evident to us in everything that you did that you were treasuring every single moment you had, because you acknowledged the effort we all expended to make those moments happen with you. In a year of challenges, you were our partners in ensuring that everyone that walked the halls of New Tech High at Coppell or attended on Zoom were welcomed, loved, and inspired. Together, you carried the torch of ensuring our campus culture and would continue uninterrupted, emerging stronger. You helped the Rookie First Week project. You led and coordinated the Olympics, networking, underclass awards, recognition months and days, and so much more. You were even the class that found a way to individually prank every single staff member in the entire building. It was quite a feat, I must admit. It was just one of the ways that you showed us that you treasure us as well. What an honor to be among such amazing learners. Now that I know that I personally treasure you always. Graduations, of course, are about more than just the learners and their accomplishments, though. They're also about the people who have helped them reach this day. Choosing New Tech High at Coppell is more than an individual learner commitment. It's also a commitment made by a family. Parents, will you please stand so that we can thank you for the support that you've provided throughout these 4 years. Thank you. You may be seated. Coppell ISD is fortunate to have a community that consistently supports and dedicates itself to the enrichment of our learners. We are especially fortunate to have school board members who volunteer countless hours for the sole purpose of supporting our educators and learners. Trustees, please stand when I call your name. Trustee Ms. Nicole Bentley, Trustee Dr. Nina Biswas, Trustee Mr. David Cavanis, Trustee Ms. Tracy Fisher, Trustee Mr. Anthony Hill, Trustee Mr. Manish Sethi, and Trustee Ms. Lee Walker. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. Likewise, I would like to acknowledge the support and leadership of our central office staff. Please stand when I call your name. Superintendent Dr. Brad Hunt, Assistant Superintendent Ms. Kristen Streeter, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Angie Applegate, Chief Operations Officer Dr. Greg Axelson, and Chief Financial Officer Ms. Diana Surkar. Thank you. And today is a little bit unique because I would absolutely be remiss if I did not extend my gratitude to the wonderful staff of Coppell High School and Coppell ISD facilities who set up this venue for us tonight and helped us work through hosting our first graduation in the arena. And most importantly, and I'm not sure where he is in the room right now, our heartfelt thanks go to our Fine Arts Director, Mr. Jerry Miller, for his vision and the countless hours he spent helping to arrange both high school graduations. Thank you. At this time, I would like to welcome the Coppell ISD Choir, directed by Bona Kugel.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Mountains, we're gonna walk it out.
Times again.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Capel Choir. Our keynote speaker was chosen by the senior class of 2021. Mr. Daughtry started his teaching career the same year that I joined New Tech High at Capel as the principal. In his 3 years with us as the rookie biology facilitator, he inspired learners and staff alike with his insight, warmth, and his leadership with our Outdoor Adventure Club. Mr. Daughtry is currently an environmental investigator with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, working on the emergency response team. Please welcome to the stage Mr. William Daughtry.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, class of 2021. I am deeply honored to be speaking to you here today, if also a little terrified at public speaking. Now, I had the privilege of teaching 9th grade biology to this graduating class, which somehow both feels like ages ago, yet not nearly long enough for y'all to be graduating already. Either way, I am incredibly proud to see you all here after years of your hard work, late nights, and some scrambling to turn in projects at times. From the first week projects, listening to me say, check the agenda every day, finding your cartoon renditions of me on the whiteboards, to the Global Issues Summit and every Flex Wednesday in between, New Tech has always been a family where I learned and grew so much, so hopefully I can pass along something helpful to you today. When thinking about what advice I could offer as you all graduate and take some major next steps in life, I decided to share with you 2 things that I am passionate about. First, while I hope I managed to teach you a few things about science that have stuck with you, how could I pass up one last opportunity to talk to you about biology? Specifically, today I will be fulfilling the role of the Lorax by speaking for the trees, because I believe there is some wisdom to be found in the lives of trees for everyone here. That's right, even today you'll be learning about biology. Now, I don't want this to just be a lecture, so I've decided to spruce it up a bit with the second thing I'm passionate about, because I figured I should really stick to what I know, and not branch out from my sense of humor. You may be realizing the second thing that I'm offering you today are just some really bad tree puns, even though you weren't asking for them. Enjoy, and feel free to count along with how many I managed to plant into this speech. We're already up to 5. The first bit of wisdom that trees have for us is about perseverance. Biosphere 2 was an experiment in the 90s where a completely enclosed ecosystem, engineered to be self-sufficient, and was constructed and sealed off, sort of like the world's biggest terrarium. Oddly, the trees planted inside would grow exceptionally well for a few years, but then topple over. They realized it was because they didn't simulate wind. See, it's strong winds and storms that cause trees to grow their roots deep and wide, making the tree stable. In fact, for many trees, the root structure underground is just as big as the rest of the tree above ground. Here's what I'm saying. I'm sure you're aware that you're going to face hardships in life, and I'm not saying that the hardships themselves are good, but persevering through them is how we grow stronger. We're not perfect people, so accept your failures when they happen, learn from them, and prepare yourself for next time. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple examples of how trees cope with the storms they face and see what we can learn from them. We tend to think that for trees to be resilient, they have to be strong and unyielding, like an oak tree, but some trees take a different approach. Even oak trees would be shredded by hurricane-force winds, but slender palm trees survive because they're flexible, able to bend and change direction with the wind. There will be times to stay rooted in your own plans and ideas, but I caution you against always trying to bend the whole world to your will. Instead, learn where you need to be flexible, maybe in your expectations of how something in your life is supposed to happen, or of what success is supposed to look like. Be willing to try new approaches, experience new things, and embrace the unexpected. You may even discover something better than what you had originally planned for. My favorite example, though, is in the redwoods, the largest and tallest trees which can grow well over 300 feet tall, taller than the Statue of Liberty. Strangely, these skyscraping trees have shallow and fragile roots, putting them at risk of falling over in storms, but they avoid this by interlocking and fusing their roots with other nearby redwoods. The result is pockets of these redwood families which have stood for thousands of years and are only able to remain standing because of how they support each other. I know the advice here sounds pretty sappy, but I think it's the best advice I'm offering today, and I really suggest that you let it resonate. Find or build a support network around you. Invest your time, into relationships with friends and family that you can rely on when times are tough. You may find the best way to achieve this is to be that someone who can be relied upon when others need help, and they'll remember it the next time you're in trouble. Remember, the redwoods that have stood the longest don't just receive support, they provide it to the trees around them too. Finally, let's take a look at giant sequoias, a type of redwood, which are the most massive trees on the planet, and yet they start from seeds smaller than your fingernail, about the size of a single flake of oatmeal. It takes centuries for these trees to reach maturity, and they continue to grow throughout their life. The forests where these trees grow are filled with other conifers that are massive in their own right, but they're dwarfed by the giant sequoias nearby. I want you to consider this. Be careful of comparison in case it minimizes your own accomplishments. It's a useful tool, but remember that it can take years of cultivation to reach grand results, and we rarely see all of the hard work or the failed attempts behind the success of those around us. So don't spend your time worrying about outperforming or measuring up to everyone else, but instead focus on your own growth. Celebrate your achievements, both big and small, and appreciate the obstacles that you're able to overcome while learning from the ones that you can't. The next time you're wandering through an old-growth forest, gazing at the ancient trees around you, which is a totally normal thing that I'm sure you all do, just like me, don't just stare at how tall a tree is. Take a moment to look at the scars and the knots, to appreciate everything that the tree has survived. And then take a look at the other trees nearby, because we know now that trees actually share nutrients during times of stress, even with trees they're not related to or that are different species entirely. Old trees didn't get as tall as they are quickly, and they didn't survive everything alone. So for a final bird's eye view, surround yourself with people who are reliable, ask for help when you need it, and give help when you can. All right, I'm going to truncate this speech here so I can make sure it doesn't go on too long, because I can assure you I wasn't stumped when it came to tree puns and metaphors. But if you're really pining for more, come find me, and I'll gladly tell you about how mangroves manage to survive in salt water, or how rainforests thrive on poor soil. But until then, know this: you have grown so much already, and there is always more growing to do. So in the words of the wise Dr. Seuss in the Lorax, it's not about what it is, it's about what it can become. Thank you again, and congratulations, class of 2021.
I sure have missed those puns. Thank you, Mr. Daughtry. I have truly enjoyed getting to know this year's valedictorian and salutatorian during my time at New Tech. They each have pursued academic excellence while also finding other arenas to shine. At this time, I invite Sahil Chinawala to the podium. Please welcome your class of 2021 salutatorian.
Much better, much better. Thank you, Dr. Baddick, and to the school board and administration of Coppell ISD. Life. Such an abstract concept, yet one so pertinent to today's gathering. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sahil Chiniwala, and I have the honor of being the salutatorian of the class of 2021, aka the class of COVID. Wow, we made it, you guys, through 4 years of high school, and here we are coming out on the other end into, that's right, life. Life can be a scary word. I mean, it's all we have. If we had to narrow down everything we have and ever will have, we have life and beanies, life and beanies. Now here's where I'm supposed to offer some advice in a thematic and inspirational way that will help you in life. But instead of giving you all another cliche speech with tips and tricks that you will likely have already heard, I'm going to make an argument. For those of you that know me, you know that that's what I do best after all. And if along the way you manage to learn something or I accidentally give some advice, then oh well, but I'm here today to prove something. So what am I going to prove? Well, I'm going to prove that life that scary, ominous word that I started my speech with, isn't really that scary. In fact, I'm going to prove to you that life is nothing more than a game, and winning is actually really easy. All right, let's break this down. What are the components of any game? Well, any game needs three things: an objective, rules, and players. So let's take it step by step and see if we can't prove that life is really just a big old game. An objective is like a purpose. It's the reason to play the game. It's the end goal. So what's the end goal to life? Well, much like a snapback, part of the beauty in life is that it's adjustable. Everyone can suit their objective to best match the life that they want to lead. And although everyone's is slightly different, everybody has one. Your objective can be anything you want. In high school, we had objectives too. For some learners, it meant getting straight A's. And to one learner in particular, it meant advocating to send journalists to concentration camps. But how you get there, how you get to that end goal, that's a question for the rules. So what are the rules of life? Well, if the objective mirrors a snapback, then the rules of life mirror a fedora. Stylish, but a little uptight. Not everybody likes rules. And sometimes they're not as comfortable as beanies. But life can't be only beanies, and sometimes rules are necessary. Also like a fedora, rules cannot easily be bent. And although every person can adjust the style of fedora they wear, the basic structure remains the same. The rules that you play your game of life by are your values and morals. Each person's is slightly different, but they all have the same core. There are common values shared by each and every one of us, like compassion and respect. And then there are some values that we each hold individually. And it is these values that make our lives distinct from everyone else, that make our rules different from everyone else. And just as the rules of a game tell us what we can and cannot do within the construct of that game, our values and morals are what tell us what we should and should not do in the game of life. And that brings me to the last and perhaps the most difficult part of my proof: the players. You see, most games have a finite number of players. Some games have 2 players, some games have 3 players, some games have 4 players, and some games have even more players. But in the game of life is played by each and every person you meet. And not only is every person playing their own game, but every person is also a part of each other's games. Whether we know it or not, every person that we interact with affects us, and thus, they affect the game that we're playing. Some of them will help us get closer to our objective. Others will try and distract or hinder us. And unlike the rules or the objective in a game, we can't always choose the players in our game. We can influence it. We can choose to surround ourselves by people that help carry us towards that objective, but we don't always have the choice to cut out everyone that doesn't. But there's another catch. While everyone else is a part of your game, they're not the ones playing it for you. The only person that can play your game, the only person that can take you closer to your objective, is you. Now I'm going to do something that I rarely ever do. I'm going to admit that I'm wrong. Remember back at the beginning when I said winning was really easy? Well, it's not. In fact, winning at the game of life is actually impossible. It's like growing out of beanies. It just doesn't happen. And anytime you think you're close to it, something new comes along. An alternate perspective, a new level of the game, or an entirely new beanie that you never knew existed. Because life, like beanies, will never cease to surprise you. Before I conclude my speech, I want to let some people know how much I appreciate them. First and foremost, Mom and Dad. Y'all are the reason that I'm even in this world, and I cannot even begin to thank you for all of your patience in putting up with my arguing and antics. You have always been with me, from my saddest moments to my happiest ones, with this hug, a smile, and constant encouragement. But while the two of you were always encouraging me, my next thanks goes to a group of people that encouraged me, but also tore me down. My facilitators and teachers. I remember every year during open house, my mother came to school and told you, don't take it easy on him, and you guys listened. From Benson Boyd during freshman year to Beatty and Smith senior year, I am forever grateful for the constant push that all of you have been in my life. Specifically, I also want to thank Mr. Uglo, Mr. Hesse, and Mr. Hussey. When I was a junior and had a mind full of questions about all of the things that had no relation to your class whatsoever, all of you were patient enough to sit down and explain things to me. Wait after class and have a chat about all sorts of things, from contemplating the existence of a fourth or even fifth dimension, to theorizing about 6G cables, or even debating the value of written language itself. You all didn't laugh at my questions, even if they were stupid. Instead, you entertained them, and I have that to thank for my curiosity. I also want to thank Mr. Kenna. Having a teacher that listens to you is one thing, but they're still your teachers. Mr. Kenna, I haven't taken one of your classes since sophomore year, yet somehow I end up spending more time in your classroom than almost any other teacher. Between our conversations about D&D and our chess games, you have become more than a facilitator, you've become a friend. Speaking of friends, thank you to everyone who is sitting in front of me as part of the class of COVID. We have all made this journey together, and I owe it to each and every one of you for making this journey unique. Next, I want to thank a few people that aren't all able to be here today. Firstly, my debate partner, Shabir. Even though he goes to CHS, he decided to overcome a bunch of different barriers, including different schools, and stuck it out with me. From 1-4 at a local our freshman year to the state championship this year, I couldn't imagine debate or my high school journey without you. To all of my extended family, Masi, Masa, Monafoy, Simafoy, and all of my cousins, including Pooja, for showing me that there is more to learn than I ever could and inspiring me to try new things and look at the world from different perspectives. Next, to my grandparents. Dadi, your kindness taught me that putting others before ourselves is not an action, but a lifestyle. Nanima, your discipline taught me that doing the right thing is always an option. And Nanaji, your patience taught me that giving others grace is the greatest gift that we can give. Lastly, but definitely not least, and oh boy, I could have spent my whole 5 minutes talking about this person, Aman Munch Chunk, my little brother. You understand me better than any person in the entire world, and your support and affection for me is what makes me want to wake up every morning. That, and the fact that you will literally drag me out of bed. You are my biggest fan, my biggest critic, and my best friend. I love you. So as we all take this next step together, I hope that you can now see we aren't just going off to college, trade school, or the workforce. We're taking the plastic wrap off of the box, we're taking a closer look at the rules, we're bringing everyone around the table, and we're setting the board up, all for the game of life. Thank you.
It started with, Dr. Baddock, can I have a beanie? And then it turned into, can I bring a whole bunch of other stuff as well? But thank you, Sahil. The New Tech Hyatt Coppell class of 2021 valedictorian is Matthew Plawecki. Please help me welcome Matthew Plawecki to the podium for the valedictory address.
All right. You know, when I first learned about the order of speakers for today, the first thing I thought was, whoa, 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 they want me to speak after Sahil? The second thing I thought was that I needed to make a speech. Now, if New Tech has taught us one thing, it's how to present without preparation, or how to think on your feet. I'm sure many of the seniors in the audience can relate. However, I couldn't improvise the speech I'm giving now. You see, the point of a valedictory address is to inspire the senior class. This is our chance to look back at where we started and be amazed by how far we've come. But how is it fair that I alone get to speak for all of us? This is pretty counterintuitive for a speech dedicated to the entire class, especially at a school that prides itself for encouraging teamwork. So, in the true New Tech spirit, I decided to turn my speech into a group project. A few weeks ago, I sent out a survey that asked the senior class a question. What did you learn from New Tech? What were their most important takeaways from high school? Here were their answers. One student said, I learned that if you use big enough words, you can get anybody to believe anything. Does anybody want to guess who wrote that one? Another student said, I learned that social contracts are as reliable as a CISD internet connection. All right. And not just that, I have another response here, but I can't read it without losing my trust card. I won't say names, but you know who you are. Okay. I'll confess that these answers, while being partially based in truth, aren't the genuine responses of the seniors I surveyed. Here's what they said seriously. Kayla said, I learned what a healthy and positive work environment looks like. Peers lifting each other up and finding ways to better ourselves and each other. Surabhi wrote, making connections will help you a lot. And another student wrote, New Tech taught me to really lean into your community. Once I trusted the New Tech community, I created friendships I believe will go down in the books. I'm sure you can find something in common with these responses. Out of everyone who responded, the majority said New Tech taught them the importance of coming together. As we took our education into the comfort and isolation of our own homes this year, I feel staying connected was more important than ever. I have a quick story. In our AP English Literature class, we were working on a project that had each group member write an essay. I was grouped up with Sahil, who you're all familiar with, and my friend Emilio. Apparently he now goes by Mr. Pinnacle or something, but that's besides the point. As I'm sure some of the seniors and my brother can attest to, I can get too controlling when working with others sometimes. So when the time came around for Emilio to write his essay, I overstepped my boundaries and wrote my own essay, with the assumption that we would use mine over his. He was rightfully offended, and it was at that point I took some time to reflect. I realized that I can be overbearing if I'm not careful, and I plan to do everything I can to stay self-aware. More importantly, Emilio came through with his essay, and I learned to rely on my teammates. I believe it's moments like these that make collaboration so valuable. Working with others won't always be smooth sailing, but I've learned the most when things go wrong. And when things go right, that's when I forged the strongest friendships. The New Tech experience, quirky as it may be, reminds us that it's through community that we better ourselves, survive disaster, and achieve the incredible. Speaking of the other people in my life, time for some thank yous. Buckle up. To the facilitators and staff of New Tech, thank you for pushing through New Tech's strangest year to date. Your hard work allowed the New Tech community to thrive in the most challenging of circumstances. To Mr. Hunter, my class with you has been some of the most fun I've had in school. Thank you for your patience, your guidance, and your letter of recommendation. It was really good. To Mrs. Benz, your mentorship from English class to the Youth Action Film Festival Committee has taught me so much. You also wrote a fantastic recommendation, so thank you for that. In all seriousness, thank you for your confidence in me. To Mrs. Sheikh, you're the heart and soul of New Tech, and I couldn't think of anyone more deserving of praise. Even when your contributions aren't recognized, know that you're worth so much to us. Thank you. And to my loving family, your unconditional love and steadfast support has been instrumental to my life. Thank you for believing in me. Abuelita, gracias por tu sabiduría y tu amor. Aprecio nuestros momentos juntos y me encanta hablar contigo. Gracias. Okay. Yeah. To my brother Michael, yeah, over here. Here, you've truly been my best friend. Your empathy and artistic passion set a shining example I hope to follow in my college years. Thank you. All right, keep going. All right, almost. To my dad, words cannot begin to describe what I owe you. This past year has been the most stressful in my life, and I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for your support. I'd go on for longer, but Dr. Baddock only gave me 5 minutes, so I got to keep it moving. But thank you for everything. Like, mi mamá. Eres la luz de mi vida. Gracias por tu dirección, tu amor, y por hablar español conmigo. Te quiero de aquí a la luna y de regreso. Okay. No. And finally, to the class of 2021, you all comprise a group of beautiful people that I've had the privilege of getting to know for 4 years. Special thanks to the people who filled out my survey because you basically wrote a third of my speech for me. As we part ways and find new communities and relationships, I hope that we'll stay in touch. While this speech may have been our final group project at New Tech, I believe this collaborative mindset will always apply. As long as we lean into each other, encourage risk-taking, and celebrate our progress together, we'll get through life by taking it one group project at a time. Thank you. All right, and now, please welcome to the podium New Tech High at Coppell Counselor Michael Kennington.
Thank you, Matthew. Good afternoon. My name is Michael Kennington, and I'm the counselor for New Tech High at Coppell. It's been an honor and privilege to get to know and work with the class of 2021. As we begin the presentation of the candidates of the class of 2021, we would like to recognize those that have participated in service and honor organizations. I ask that learners stand to be recognized when I call your organization. National Honor Society members are recognized by gold cords. Yeah, y'all can clap. National Honor Society officers are recognized by gold and blue cords. Yearbook members are recognized by teal cords. Fuse members are recognized by gray cords. DECA members are recognized by light blue and white cords. Members of the Learner Leadership Council are recognized by purple cords. Members of the networking team captains are recognized by green cords. Members of the Junior World Affairs Council are recognized by red, white, and blue cords. Members of the Model United Nations are recognized by light blue and white cords. New Tech scholars are recognized by a gold pin. And finally, learners ranking in the top 10% of their class are recognized by red honor sashes. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Had to move Sawhill's hats. Class of 2021, please stand. Dr. Hunt and CISD Board of Trustees, it is my honor to present to you the New Tech Hyatt Coppell Class of 2021 as candidates for graduation. In addition to meeting state requirements for graduation, these graduates have also earned the distinction of being New Tech Hyatt Coppell graduates through their hours of service, completion of capstone, and job exploration opportunities.
Thank you, Dr. Baddick. It is my honor on behalf of the Coppell ISD Board of Trustees to receive these learners of the class of 2021 as graduates for graduation. Therefore, by the authority granted by me through the Texas Education Agency and the Coppell Independent School District Board of Trustees, I certify that these candidates are ready for graduation from New Tech Hyatt Coppell with all the rights, privileges, and honors this diploma signifies.
Learners, please be seated. I now invite Ms. Rahila Sheikh, Assistant Principal of New Tech Hyatt Coppell, to the podium to announce the graduates.
And now, the senior class of 2021, beginning with the top 10%. Matthew Jude Plawecki. Sahil Sanjay Chiniwala. Isabella K. Zeth. Sridhar Srinivasan. Mark Johannes Hattenpa. Malaika Yasser. Sarah Lynn Twining. Autumn Elizabeth Kranz. Rocio del Alba Arguello Martinez. Benjamin Robert Bostetter. Annabelle Rose Brandenburg. Ethan Ray Buman. Landon Micah Carter. Annabella Cedillo. Megan Ann Chambliss. Kirchen Chien. Tamara Noor Chowdhury. Tyler Andrew Clayton. Reagan Clark Cowdrey. Parker Logan Crane. Ireland Simone De Jesus. Hannah Schuyler Davenport. Kayla Jean D'Souza. Jack Wyatt Bale. Marco David Frescas Villa. Emma Elizabeth Gandy. James Austin Good. Jacob Julian Granada. Aiden Alexander Guillen. Jacob Edward Hartz. Jocelyn Sabella Hongranado. Melanie Adriana Hernandez. Ariel Michaela Hirsch. Raima Hussein. Avia Kalra. Zachary Adams Kennedy. Aiden Thomas Clem. Nicole Renee Kolkmeyer. Sydney Grace Coots. Rohan Raghavan Lalapet. Mark Cook Lucky. Stephen Tyrone Lyons. Matthew Patrick Maurer. Abigail Meza. Michaela Faith Milligan. Charlotte Ann Millman. Nawal Saif Muhammad Al-Nabhani. Rhett Jackson Moat. Emilio Ortiz Gonzalez. Jasmine Rain Page. Rajiv Vankalaipati Prasad. Cole Arthur Ramirez. Emily Ann Reynolds. Daniela Salas. Desiree Mercedes Santaella. Sheikha Ali Saif. Manu Shanbog. Swapnil Singh. Elise Daniel Skiles. Veda Riley Smith. Mercedes Fate Souders. Surbi Srinivas. Shrivat Srinivasan. Cade Douglas Blodgett Stephan. Jessica Diane Steerwalt. Fatimata Zahara C. Abigail Ann Turner. Sai Sidhu Yalamanchi. Michael Edward Yared. Graduates, please have a seat. This year, we are bringing back an old tradition with a new twist. The senior class gift is now a final senior give back
that is selected by the senior class. To present this, please welcome to the podium Isabella Zeff, President of the Networking Team Captains.
Hello, everyone. Don't worry that I'm not in your program. I was just so important that they were like, oh, we don't even need to include her. So honestly, I kind of wanted to start my speech with life just to mess with Sahil. But I'm going to be honest, I had the hardest time writing this speech. I asked a lot of people for ideas. The only actual suggestion I got was that I should do my speech as a rap. I didn't do, so you're welcome. But what I kept coming back to was a thought that I've been having this year, but also all 4 years of high school, which is, how lucky are we that we get to go to New Tech? I mean, there is so much that New Tech has given us over the last 4 years that we wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. We've done more presentations and public speaking than probably any high school anywhere. We've done slam poetry, mock trials, we've made mini golf courses, podcasts, and films. We got to build a trebuchet. How many people can say that? We've had incredible facilitators who don't get too offended when we make fun of them. Sorry, guys. New Tech has also given us so many opportunities for community service and instilled in each of us, I hope, a drive to give back wherever we are. And this brings me to the part of the speech that I'm actually supposed to say. The first part was just, I like to talk, at least according to Mr. G. The senior give back. It is the very last New Tech gives back for all of us. The last time that we will give back to our community as a class. And it's new this year, the way that we're giving back. Each of us bought an honor cord, the silver and black cord that we're all wearing, and the proceeds from buying that cord are being donated to our senior charity, City House. At the very beginning of this year, the senior class voted on what our school's charity for this year would be, and City House was selected, a Plano-based organization dedicated to protecting, empowering, and transforming the lives of at-risk children and young adults suffering from abuse, neglect, or homelessness through emergency shelter, transitional living, counseling, and outreach. We are thrilled to be able to give back once again this year to this amazing charity, and we are all really grateful for the opportunity to give back one last time as the New Tech class of 2021. I hope that each of us will carry forward the drive for community service that New Tech has given us. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabella. To share some final words to the class of 2021, please welcome our National Honor Society President, Annabelle Brandenburg, to the podium.
Hi, everybody. Okay. Good evening, parents, facilitators, and family. My fellow classmates, this has been crazy, but we're here. My name is Annie Brandenburg, and before I start, I'd like to thank my family. Love y'all. I can't look at them because they're gonna make me cry. But I would just like to thank y'all for supporting me because I would not be here without y'all. To my family, just one more, thank you. Sorry, guys. Yes, I know how to read. Okay. Thank you, parents, families, and facilitators. Thank you for the love and support you have given us. I know we did not make it easy, but thank you for just being behind us and supporting and just loving us. Class of 2021, the day we've been awaiting, countdown after countdown. It's finally here. 1,375 days ago, we walked through those doors not knowing the journey, but we are gathered here today about to start a new one. Through this journey, we have learned not only the basic education that will carry us far into our future, but the important life lessons that will lead us in different directions. Some of us are going on to college, and some are going wherever their next journey takes them. No matter what we do, or where we go, or what we accomplish, there are challenges waiting for us. I hope each and every single one of you will meet those challenges head on with your head held high and your heart open. It's not something that will get you by in life, but the way you use these skills will affect your judgment in other situations. I hope that you also make mistakes so you learn from them, and on your next journey, you can have that other judgment to make you a better person. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, It's not the destination, it's the journey. As my fellow peers have reflected back on our 4 years here, I would like to talk about our future. Today is one of our many destinations we have arrived at. However, this journey took us on some twists and turns and tested our limits. We got through it together. It's not only the people or experiences, it's the little things on our journey that shape us into who we are. I hope from the bottom of my heart that each of you have cherished these moments, as well as make new ones. As we're transitioning on to our next destination, pay extra close attention to the journey and little things. Eventually, we have to get to our destination, even if we're not ready. And today, we have arrived. Today is going to be the last time that we were all here together. So look around and capture this moment. So with that being said, hold on a little tighter, cry a little harder, smile bigger, or try to do the smize, the new thing, smile through with your eyes because we can't see with the mask, and love a whole lot deeper, because these are the little things that get us to our destination. Thank you, class of 2021, for being yourselves. I wish everyone could have a community like the one New Tech has, because it's not something that just happens, it's something people contribute to. I hope that each of you continue to contribute to the, yes. Just yes. Yes. Thank you. Again, thank you to our friends, families, and our amazing facilitators. I wish you nothing but the best on your journey, wherever that may be. But congratulations, class of 2021. We've made it. Thank you.
Before we go on to the next part of our program tonight, I just wanted to take a few minutes and say thank you on behalf of this district for what you all have done as a school and as a community. I thank our parents. You know this year has been extremely challenging, and I thank you so much for being here for your kids and for our district and for New Tech Hyatt-Coppell specifically. I want to take a few moments and say thank you to each and every one of the facilitators. This has been an exceptionally challenging year, not only for everything that's going on with the pandemic, but also the budget and the snowstorm and everything else, and our facilitators have been outstanding. And at the first of the year, there was a real strong possibility of us not having enough people to be able to have our schools run every day. And so that was an opportunity for some of our facilitators and staff who just felt like they couldn't make it work. And so I have respect for them for making that decision, but I also have a lot of respect for people that showed up every day no matter what. And I want to thank two people especially. One, as some of our staff members had to make some decisions before the school year began and felt like it wasn't right for them to come back to work here, there was one particular staff member that I just want to say thank you to, because she had an opportunity to retire last year and she chose to stay. And I think that says a lot, not just about her, but about New Tech and what you all mean to her, what she means to this district, and the fact that oftentimes when there's a fire and people are leaving the building, it's the firefighters that come running in. Well, I know that's a little extreme example, but that's how the first of the year felt like. And I just want to take a moment to recognize someone who is retiring from CISD, and specifically New Tech, someone who's been a part of the New Tech family since the very beginning, either as a facilitator or a parent, who stayed one more year because you all needed her, we needed her, and we can't thank her enough, Miss Nori Brasfeld. And one more quick thank you. This year was tough on everyone. It was tough on our facilitators, our families, and our students, I know, but it was also exceptionally challenging for our principals and our administration, and for someone who not only had to deal with everything going on with COVID and the budget and finishing her doctorate and everything else. After 5 years in CISD, I will borrow Matthew's air quotes, because you did a lot of air quotes, which I loved that. I don't have any hats like Sahil, but I'll just wear this one. It's close enough to a beanie, it's all I have. But I just want to take a moment and say thank you for 5 exceptional years in CISD and at New Tech High at Coppell, our longest running principal at New Tech High at Coppell, the exceptionally brilliant, the wonderful and hardworking Miss Dr. Stephanie Baddick. Let's give her a round of applause. And at this time, if Dr. Baddick would please come to the stage.
We have a graduation to finish. Graduates, please stand. In this moment of presentation, in common bond to symbolize the transition from one phase of your life to the next, please move your tassels from the right to the left to signify your status as a graduate. To our parents, community, CISD administration, New Tech facilitators, and special guests, I proudly present to you the graduates of the New Tech High at Coppell, class of 2021. As our learners are recessing, which is what they should be doing now, I would like our families to know that they will be recessing to the outside of the building, which is where you will find them after this program. Thank you.